If you can't hear it in the background, I'm cooking chicken. But this is going to be a different video than what I'm used to posting, because all I do is post shit posts here. But this is a little bit of this is just a different video. I found out 2 days ago that an old Skype friend of mine, Hellsing920, Emer, I think that's how you say his last name, I'm not completely sure, but I found out that he passed away due to, I think, complications with a hernia or some kind of surgery was like botched or something. I don't know. I don't know the full details, and just besides that, it just really sucks to know he's gone so young. I think he was in his mid-30s. I'm not sure, but like it just really sucks. And I kind of wanted to, if my phone would shut up, I kind of wanted to share like maybe 1 or 2 stories about how I knew the guy. I pretty much met him and the rest of the Skype group that I used to be in, I think through the mutual. And through that mutual, I met Tiana, Lily Livers, at the time, if anybody knows who she is. And then she added me to the main Skype chat, and that's how I met everybody, and that's how I met Emer and everybody else. But out of all the times that I've actually like talked to him, because we never really talked that much outside the Skype chat, he was always really nice. He was always very respectful to me and to everybody else in the group. At the same time, he was the kind of person who would never back down. He always stuck to his gut. He always stuck to his opinions. And if you did not like them opinions, you could just like fuck off. Like, he was very true to his own opinions. And that's something that I can really respect in regards to, especially with the way social media is right now. It's completely fucking insane. And I can respect somebody like that. Even if I don't agree with them like 100%, if they stick to their opinions and stick true to what they believe, I can respect that. And that was like the biggest thing that I could respect about him. And the way he talked, like, he had a stutter, and that honestly made me feel better about myself, because I have issues with talking as well. But I don't know, the way he talked, he always he talked really, he just really talked smart, I guess, is what I want to say. He was really intricate with some of the things that he would say, and that's something that stuck out about him that I saw, basically. Despite him having a stutter, speech impediment, however you want to call it. Two of my favorite memories are usually when we were all together in a Skype call. And one time we were making fun of this one guy. I think it was Tubers92, 93. I forgot his name. But it was some video that he did bitching about some British show. And some lady was talking about how she didn't want to show her boobs on TV. Which, it's completely understandable. If you were uncomfortable showing body parts on television, even though the show itself has the license to show this kind of shit, you ain't got to do that. Like, it's plain and simple. That's up to you. If you're way out of your comfort zone, you let somebody know. And this kid didn't know, or he didn't get it, and like, the rest of them were basically going off on this guy, like, making fun of the whole, like, commentary rant thing. And I'm here in the corner, in my little corner of the world, just on Facebook, playing Robot Unicorn Attack. And I think it was James who said something along the lines of, "Fist me with marmalade," or something like that. I have the recording. If he lets me, I will post it. If James, if you're listening to this, if I can post that, if I can find it on my old hard drive, I will post it in my channel, or I'll give it to you to post. But what I remember was, during that time, it was making my game lag, and that line just disgusted me. And I'm just like, it's making my horsey go slow. What I meant to say was, it was making my game lag, but my mind, for some reason, said, it's making my horsey go slow. And the next thing I hear is this huge burst of laughter coming from Emer's end, and then everybody else joins in, and I don't know, I guess that just kind of cemented the person I was in the group chats and shit. Whenever James would post things on his YouTube channel and on his Blip and stuff, that's how people knew of me. Because I went by Abusive Uke back then rather than Mad Valkyrie. But that was a good time. That was a good time. And I mean, it just escalated from there. The whole like rant commentary bullshit thing. It was great. It was fucking great. And it ended up with James hiking up the pitch of the audio that he had of all of us, and it just we all just all sound fucking crazy, and it's great. It's great. Another thing that I remember very clearly is one day, I think, when I woke up and I got on Skype, they all greeted me like they usually did, and Emer sent me, or they were talking about it, and then Emer sent me what they were talking about, and I believe it was the guy. It was one of the I think he was either Scottish or Irish. I can't tell, but it was a comedian, and he was talking about Michael Jackson and how audio of him before he died, when he was like taking the meds to go to sleep, he wanted to say, "Hey, I want to build a children's hospital," and this guy just goes completely hard on that whole thing, and it gets so fucking creepy, and you can probably find it on YouTube. Just look it up. Comedian Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital. It is so demented. And I'm just sitting there, mouth, like, hands covered over my mouth, like, oh my fucking god, Emer, what the fuck did you send me? And I was just so disturbed, and I feel bad because I started laughing. And it's just like, Emer, why the fuck would you send me this? This is, oh god, it's it's just that bad. And that's like the first thing I thought of when I found out, like maybe an hour after I found out he passed. That's like the first thing that came up was the day that he sent that to me. And I think that's how Emer wants us to remember him, as the sweetheart, demented son of a bitch that he was. Because, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's sad that he passed away. I fucking hate he passed away. I know we didn't talk much after the Skype group. Well, it didn't really fall apart. I just kind of left. I don't know. Just a whole bunch of shit that I'm not going to talk about because it's not my place to talk. But I'm going to miss the motherfucker. He was very genuine. He was a very genuine person, and I respected him for his opinions and how he held himself up. Even when stupid sons of bitches would just, like, come after him for childish, I can't not talk, childish things. I remember one time, me, James, and Emer, we were actually in a three-way Skype call with each other. It was just the three of us. And this, I think it was a 12-year-old that was, like, shitting on Emer or something like that, like, on his reaction review stuff or whatever. I don't know what it was, but I think it was James. He found what was it? He found a YouTube video of this one kid, like, trying to balance on a log, and he said, yo, this looks exactly like that kid, and the kid falls off the log and falls into, like, a little, like, ravine, like, just like a little creek or something. I mean, he didn't get too hurt or anything like that, but, I mean, it's just a funny video to me. And, like, we just kept, every time he kept playing, like, the kid's video or whatever, shitting on Emer and stuff like that, he would just go, yeah, or something like that, like, the kid was crying out for something. It was just so funny. But, I mean, that's how I remember Emer. I don't really remember anything, like, negative about him. He was always just so true to himself. He was always a sweetheart to me. He always stood by his opinions. He always just stood by his friends. And when I found out he passed away, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it at first. But I wasn't really worried about myself, because, I mean, I'd heard that he had problems with a hernia and surgery and stuff like that, and that he was, like, he had money issues, he set up a GoFundMe and stuff like that, but I'm poor, and my bills are, like, insane. I'm trying to keep I'm just trying to keep those in line. I hate that I couldn't help him out. I really do. But I wasn't really worried about myself and how I felt. I was really worried more about James because I knew how close those two were. You could consider those two as brothers. Even if they had their disagreements, they always ended up finding some kind of middle ground. And then they just, like, let it go. And they're back to square one. Just talking about video games or whatever pisses them off that they both agree that pisses them off. That's just how it always was in the Skype calls and stuff. And honestly, like, part of me is going to miss that. Like, part of me is going to miss seeing his giant walls of text about how the current generation of social media is just insane, which I actually agree. Like, a lot of it is just completely going off the fucking rails. It's just, ugh. But I'm also going to miss his reaction and review show that he had on his channel. Because of that, I actually ended up watching a few of the videos that he watched himself. And honestly, they're fucked up, but they're also very good at how they present the fucked upness, if you will. How they trigger somebody, basically. And I honestly don't think I would have heard of those videos if it wasn't for him. And I really appreciate that he took the time out of his day just to make those videos and stuff. And it really fucking sucks, because I really wanted to send him a copy of The Cabin of Dr. Caligari to review, because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it sucks that I'm never going to be able to do that now. I'm going to miss him. I really am. I've said it probably 15 million times already in this audio. I'm going to miss him. He was a good person. He was a good friend, and he was a good brother to James. Because I know he's probably taking, I think he took it the worst. Because when I found out he died, I told everybody, hey, look out for James. Make sure he's okay. Because I know that guy was like the closest thing to a second brother. Well, I don't know his whole family, so all I know is his brother, his dad, and him. That's it. So I know how hard that had to have been on him, especially because he lost another friend earlier this year, who was the Unusual Goth, who I only spoke with every now and then when I used to be in the Skype call with everybody. I think this has gone on long enough, and I'm just gonna say it again. Emer, I'm gonna fucking miss you. You were a unique individual, and nothing is gonna fucking replace that. I'm sorry. Nothing will replace the person that you were. In our heart, in my heart, and like everybody else's. Like, a person like you comes along only a few times in our lives. And you will be missed. Rest in peace, buddy.